So if you want to start, Jessica, how are
Okay.
you today?
I'm doing really well. I was contacted last night by Chris. I think I had said something about doing, and I think it was with you, Eduardo, about helping with the onboarding for OneHive. That's related to this meeting? I think maybe with OneHive helping with onboarding a Discord, right, with you guys. And I didn't realize somebody else had started messaging me asking if anyone had been in contact with me. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then Chris messaged me, oh, by the way, and I'm like, oh, I'm talking to Chris. So this morning I'm feeling kind of like I'm just catching up. So I don't know how to explain that.
That's okay.
Yeah, just like I'm happy to be here, and I'm really excited to be doing work with Token Engineering Commons. It's something I'd looked at in the past and had wanted to be able to help with, and apparently I can. So yay!
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll pass it to Jessica. Are we
Exactly.
passing?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was trying to find my unmute. Did you say intentions and distractions? I guess I was distracted when you said that. I was just closing something so I can focus better. So I am clearing the distractions. And yeah, just always good to meet and see what's shaking and what we need to keep pressing forward on. So looking forward to hear about how everybody's week went and talking with some groups and how things are going from everybody. And I will pass to Griff.
Yeah, my intentions are just to give updates and hang out with all you guys and figure out next steps. I also have I'm hoping that we can start onboarding each other because we need soft commits from everyone in the group. So might as well start there. And then also there's a call today with the whole Bright ID team. I tried to do just a one-on-one with Adam, and he just invited 7 people. So I might as well do the same. So everyone's welcome to come to that call later today. As far as distractions, I'm going to eat my first food, soup, in over a week. So I'm very excited about that. And it's going to happen during this call. Okay, and I'll pass it to Metaverde. Metaverde, you're muted. If you're there.
Oh, hey, I opened.
Yeah.
My bad, I was late.
You want attention and distractions now also?
No, it's okay. Septimus, can you?
I mean,
you can pick it up from there.
Yeah. All right. You got it, Griff?
Yeah, Septimus, you want to go?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was late. I missed it.
Thank you, Edu. My intention for the call is, keep being synchronized, and I'm so excited to hang out with you guys, and I'm also so excited for the Bright ID call. I also want to see how we onboard each other, and I think that can be fun, and no distractions. I'll pass it to Jake.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening. Hold on. Okay. I'm putting somebody's shoes on, so I actually should probably pass this off to somebody else right now and then come back to me. Thanks. How about Tam?
Sure. I'll catch that. Intentions and distractions. My intentions are to volunteer to be the first among us to be pitched. So I'm throwing my hat in the ring for anyone that wants to onboard me, please. And my distractions are, I'm eating, so I'm not going to be on video because I'll spare you guys for that. And Livia, I'll pass to you. Give Jake a few more moments.
Thank you. My intentions are to, catch up with everything happening here and to learn more from how the onboardings are going, and excited to join the Bright ID crew later. And distractions is just thinking that we have the stewards meeting after this, and I'm like, oh, Zen Hub. So I'm a bit distracted with that. But pass back to Jake. Maybe you're free now.
Yeah, I'm ready now. Thank you. Okay, intentions. Yeah, just further communicate where everybody is about who we've got on and where we're going afterwards. And yeah, distractions, not anymore. I'm good. How about you, Zep?
You're muted, I think, Septimus, but Septimus already went. So I will take it from there. My intentions and instructions. My intention for this call is to update everyone and to have an update from everyone also and to sync. And my distraction is that I'm paying attention to my phone because I have a moving today to do. So I'm like in multiple head space at the moment. So by the way, I love that background, Livy. I don't know what you do with your backgrounds that are always so nice. It's like you work on them previously before the meetings or something. Anyways, so we have the agenda for today. We can start with the hatchers and sorry, we can start with the forum update and clarities on the tasks. We had a small meeting with Jake the other day where we clarified certain things regarding the forum. Also with Tam, because I was not taking, like, my role is not to take care of the forum. I was just, and this is to clarify to everyone, I was just trying to work on things that I thought would help the onboarding group, like the multi-messaging tool for sending massive messages to people, different people, and also the praise to acknowledge people who were also being part of the forum community. And then Jake is working on his side. So we think and did that part. I don't know, Jessica, if you have any update on the forum, anything that, any changes that you probably have done this week or did past week that want to be put it for the rest to know.
The only change that I did was putting that kind of little disclaimer thingy, and then I passed it around. But Livia's pretty much carrying the flag for that now, so I think she has probably a lot more updates than me. I haven't been looking, and thank you, Livia, for focusing on that. So yeah, that's it for me from this week for the forum. I'm focusing on some other stuff in comms, but I'm happy to help, of course, if anything is needed, Livy or Eduardo. Like, just pull me in if you want a second pair of eyes on anything.
What about you, Livy? Is there any update regarding for the boring group on the forum? Any changes or something that needs to be?
I changed the order a little bit of things, so I think it's easier when you arrive, like the things you're seeing, but that was like very small. And then finishing updating the proposal section, but all of them have TLDRs now, so it's at least like you can arrive and find yourself, I think.
Perfect. So yeah, so the forum this week has been, I think, very calm. We are still working with Chris on these tools to be able to improve it or not. So yeah, there is not much update on that matter besides that we are working on it. Regarding the task of the proposals and hatchers update, this is the big monster of this call. So we want to start with that. Griff, we had a meeting with Griff on Saturday, 2 p.m. With Felix, and he also made a soft commitment. We update the sheet Griff. I put that he made a soft commitment because it was not updated yet. So did you have any other meetings or anyone else had any other meetings with any hatchers that made a soft commitment?
I did. I randomly was talking with Scoopy Trooples, and he was free, and so we just had a call, and he said he was down to give a soft commit, and I should check. Did anyone else talk to any other hatchers? Oh, I talked to another guy, but I wasn't. His name is Levin Godris, and he's interested but wants to learn more. and I didn't push it for the soft commit because that wasn't the purpose of the call. But
Shall we reschedule a meeting with him then?
yes, not yet. I had him apply, and he's definitely going to. He said he wanted to do more research about what token engineering even is. He's more of a common stack guy, and then but I said that basically the next step for me with him is to, when we have the Swiss membership app, he's definitely going to become a member, and then I figured that would be the moment then that I would schedule a call with him.
Okay, great. Did you update the hatcher list with the other one that you onboard?
Yes, I think so. Except for Felix, I guess. I actually forgot about Felix. But our soft commits are up to 86,500 on my count. Oh, I asked Jake for a soft commit, but he said no. He said he didn't want to give me one. So
does anyone else onboard someone on the hatcher's side? I will take that as a no. So, how many people do we have scheduled for this week? Griff and the Hutchins. We are finished with the list of this, and then we will talk about onboarding ourselves. But is there anyone else on that list that is scheduled for this week that you need help with or attending?
Adam. So I have Adam today from Bright ID, and he's bringing all his friends. So that will be, and Adam and Phil, Philip, who's the main funder of Bright ID, main investor or whatever you'd call him. I don't know. It's a weird line between donor and investor, but we have that problem too. So yeah, I think those two today, plus all the other people who are working with Bright ID, which I'm an advisor on their project, so there's like already a lot of rapport there. I don't know, it'll be harder to ask for soft commits in that environment, but I will follow up DM everybody with it. That's my plan.
Okay. Besides the Wednesday, is there any other schedule?
I think I have Jordy next week sometime, but I think that's it.
Okay. So shall we pick, or you want to? Do we handle more, or we leave it like that?
Well, I definitely need to approach more people.
Okay.
So I'll keep approaching some more people, but it's slow and steady for sure.
Yeah. Just get back at me or Jake or Tam or whenever you find a spot and you need someone to go along the way. I'm free, so just send me a calendar invite.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the next part of the Hatchers part, we mentioned as Tam just mentioned when we start the call to onboard ourselves. This is part also of a nice way to get this awkward process out of the way and to make it like fluid and to make it easy for everyone to also know our own speech, understand, get to know a little bit more other people from our own group. So I want to ask if someone wants to onboard Tam. If not, I will do it myself. But does anyone wants to or also volunteer for be onboarded or want to be part of that process?
Can I add a little bit? Can I just add a little bit to it too? I mean, we have a list of all the trusted seed members and all their scores, and we're all on it. We are the trusted seed. So for me, it's less of an exercise or practice and more of, representing the trusted seed because we are too. So that's actually the approach that I look at it from. So yeah, I'm happy to go first, or in the first
Just
batch.
one. Oh, sorry. Just one comment. I think for me, as like an individual looking at, co-vesting in this is, I think the most important missing piece is the ratio between C-stack tokens and TEC. I don't think that people yet fully realize this, and without having that decision finalized, and I know, Grip, you said in February, so I would hope that we have some discussions around this, and I don't even know, like, how are we going to decide that? Are we going to have a vote? Or I guess for me, that's the biggest blocker to like people saying for sure this, because
it's a parameter for the hatch DAO that will be like all the other parameters. So when we're deciding the hatch period, the like how long, it'll be decided with a token vote of C-stack tokens and impact hour people through quadratic voting on token log as part of the whole system.
And so, yeah, I have that understanding. I would just say, like, I hope we put a lot of communications or attention, or maybe even have, like, I hope we have maybe an AMA session or something with like these main parameters. I think for me, that one's pretty high priority up there with, like, I know we have big important ones like testing cliff and the exit tribute. We could maybe pick the big, what we think are kind of the biggest, but I guess I just really want to explain and have people understand that this ratio setting is really important. So I still don't even know if everyone on this call has like the full perspective on what it really means. Like, and also for me, I don't feel I have, like, I guess to like explaining, okay, if we set the ratio at this is how it could affect the raise. So it's that balance of
Can you translate how it affects onboarding ourselves, this ratio, so we can all be on the same page?
I think Griff actually would probably have the best overview, and then I want to hear, like, because there's so many things flying, it's hard to keep track. So yeah, I could also benefit from hearing again, like, the pros and cons, because yeah, we'll have to be translating this. So
I'm super sorry to interrupt. I keep thinking that this is about onboarding new people. What's if somebody could just tell me really fast what the onboarding is. Like, who are we onboarding?
It's for onboarding hatchers. So a hatcher is someone who actually, well, it's for onboarding hatchers and onboarding projects. So we're going to create the token engineering commons, which is kind of like OneHive, but instead of the issuance going into the conviction voting directly, we have a bonding curve in front. And so, but only people that are part of the trusted seed that have C-stack tokens are able to participate in the initialization of the bonding of the DAO.
Excellent. And okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so we're talking about the onboarding of those people and the onboarding of projects that are asking for money.
And then what's the investment that we're looking for from that you're looking for from Hatcher?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. So we don't necessarily have a direct target. We're going to talk to every hatcher and see what questions they have. And we're trying to gather soft commits so that we have an understanding of what we can expect. And then we will set a minimum goal and hopefully overachieve that. That's the thing.
Okay, and I'm really sorry to be doing this to your meeting. What's the minimum investment that you're looking for from a hatcher? What would I have to do to be a hatcher?
You can send $1. There's no minimum per person.
I gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So can we go back to talk of the ratio so everyone can understand what it implies?
Yeah. So in the test, we had a ratio of 200 C-stack tokens were required to send 1 DAI to the DAO. That's kind of extreme because we didn't want to actually receive much money, right? Like we didn't want people to be able to send money to our test DAO. So we had a very extreme ratio. You could imagine if the C-stack ratio were 1-to-1, for every C-stack token that you have, you can send one wrapped X die to the DAO. But the C-stack ratio could be set the extreme the other way, that for every one C-stack token you can send 200 die to the DAO. And it's really up to the community to decide. There'll be actually C-stack token holders and people with impact hours will be the deciding force. And it's one of many parameters for how we launch the DAO, alongside how long does the hatch last, what is the minimum goal, what is the maximum goal, these sorts of things.
And yeah, hopefully everybody has some understanding of C-stack tokens and how to get them. So C-stack tokens also it's you can earn it through contributions to the ecosystem, or you can donate to the common stack. So obviously, if it's 200 to 1, you would need to buy a lot of C-stack or earn a lot to give into the hatch. So yeah, so it's a huge and really important how we set this. And also
it's worth mentioning that YGG is making a visualization for this to show okay, here's all the lists of C-stack token holders. Here's what the ratio looks like. Here's the maximum amount we could have, and here's the list of addresses that can donate or that can contribute and how much. So we're going to have a very nice visualization for this, and it'll be a very well-informed debate on the forum. But the key thing for onboarding is that when you go to somebody, you say, the parameters are up to you. That you will decide. Everyone we're talking to is a C-stack token holder. So they will be able to vote on on this ratio and every other parameter that comes out. So,
but from a UI UX perspective or understanding as well, it is somewhat harder to get people to act or engage when you don't have one particular call to action. And just to understand the psychology when you're talking to people, it is much easier to tell people, here's one thing, go do it, rather than, hey, we want you to do this thing, but we don't know what this thing is. And there are those options, and a lot of these people are busy. So just I think not focusing on that so much, informing them, because you don't want it to be a surprise that they come later and it's oh, so I have to give X number to the common stack in order to give to co-vest in the TEC. So I think this is actually really important in how this is explained in the pitches, and that we're clear and open and upfront, so that it's not a surprise, but that it's also not we don't know anything, or because yeah, I'm just saying there, I think for the pitches, having this understanding is helpful, and how we communicate this is very important, so that it's not a surprise later of oh, I have to give, so yeah, I think just bringing that up there.
My question regarding this topic is, we can be onboarded ourselves while using our C-stack tokens.
Yeah, so everyone will still have to actually become a member of the Common Stack Association.
Yeah.
And they will either have to pay 450 DAI or apply for a scholarship, which we're just going to give out scholarships very, very easily. Basically anyone who says, no, I don't want to pay 450 DAI, they'll get 450 DAI, we'll send it to them, and then they can become a legal member of our Swiss association.
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand the ratio comment in the sense of onboarding ourselves, because it only affects ourselves right now, all the trusted people right now. So, but if that's not clear yet for us, they can still have this process by using XDAI. So it's not a blocker, it's just something to be considered.
Yeah, you have to understand that if you don't have any C-stack tokens, which everybody who has contributed to this community has C-stack tokens, and so none of us will have to worry about this. It's for people that have 0 C-stack tokens, or very few, that want to go big and say, co-vest 5 or 10 grand or something. Then they will have to get whatever equivalent that allows them in C stack tokens. Does that make more sense, Eduardo?
Yes, my point is that right now we are focusing on onboarding ourselves and also the people who are top priority on that list of C-Stack holders. So I don't think right now it's something that will affect necessarily onboarding ourselves, but it's to be considered and to be clarified for when we reach that part of the list. So we can, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's super clear, Eduardo. I do agree. I also think, to Jessica's point, the questions that she has will be interesting. The questions that all of us have will be interesting. So I think by this time next week, we'll probably have compiled an understanding of our own understanding, So I think it'll be really nice. It's extra incentive to go through this step of us onboarding each other. The active participants in the TEC, and then having those questions surface so that they can be addressed. So cool.
Awesome. And yeah, recording that will be super, super helpful because, and I know we have the FAQ going, which is awesome. But for example, like I just realized in this call, which is why I come to these calls, is like, I don't even have on my comms roadmap about, some kind of communications. It's probably joint between SoftGov about the parameters. And I know also Jake and Griff are handling that, but like, just making sure that these things are accounted for. So yeah, thank you, Tamara, for that also. It's, clicking more. And I think the process will help to like shed light on these things. Thanks for saying those things.
Perfect. So going back to our point, who volunteers to onboard Tam?
Oh, I'll onboard Tam. I do, Griff. Okay, with the second part of the hatch, and we actually implement the curve. Okay, when in that do we open it up to the outside? For instance, well, I mean, I have a lot ahead of me, but okay, so we involve,
right away.
Okay, because if we involve Badger and this works out in this different way or whatnot, there are 7,000 people in their Discord alone, and it's like crazy. So we can't. I mean. Now they're not all going to be trusted seed, obviously, but this idea of even this scholarship, I mean, that's not going to work with a group like that. I mean, we can't be sending out, we can't be sending out all that dye to these people either, So I'm curious, like they would be better suited for afterwards, we kind of need to know these things ahead of time because the possibility with them is pretty great, but we can't. I mean. I got to have clear definitions, like Jess is bringing up, moving forward with this because it's a different kind of community. I mean, they're not apes, but it is different.
I think it's just a good question of like, okay, I think a lot of thought has gone into what if we don't succeed or whatever. But the other end of the spectrum is like, what if what happens to One Hive happens to us and it blows up? Like what? And that's why for me, having and shoring up the infrastructure with like the CRM or whatever it is, like the communications infrastructure is important because what if it does blow up? We certainly, don't have the resources, but then again, the resources come once things are flowing. And, One Hive, you saw like there was this kind of decentralized self-organization that happened to solve many things that came up. But yeah, Jake, I think kind of what you're bringing up about like just having prep for kind of like if a mass scale happens really fast or something.
Yeah, and just so we're all on the same board too, I mean, I don't want to be, we're reaching out to other groups now. I mean, we have to be prepared for the fact that, we're building something fucking awesome too. And we could immediately have, it's crypto. We could have that huge flood right away. And if we're not ready for the big guns, we're going to get blown away.
So they won't be able to necessarily contribute to the hatch unless they follow the trusted seed process, which is applying and then like having some explanations. They have to basically be able to say, I care more about the value of token engineering and the value of like commons management and these sorts of things over the price. We have to be able to believe that they can do that. If not, then if it's like neutral, then basically we give them a low max trust score, which means they can only get so many C-stack tokens, and then they can buy in with a little, right? Whereas we want to be really, it's very important, the initialization of these systems. And so we want to make sure that people like Zargum and Trent and Tarun and Luke and like real token engineers have the ability to get a large share of the tokens so that they can actually create value for token engineering. And it's not just like, oh, this project sounds cool and I think I can make money if I do it. Like that's, so going out to the masses is not actually like the main strategy for the hatch. It's more about post-hatch that we'd want to take that route.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just having the direction then even with that second part. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, the second that we do the commons upgrade, anyone can buy into the bonding curve. Anyone can send tokens to the bonding curve, excuse me.
And hopefully we'll have some more automated processes rather than, I think the other thing that's kind of cumbersome is like so many of these processes are very manual. Like some human is going through all the trustee applications. Like, so hopefully there can be a bit of a shift towards automation, Jake, to also solve this potential.
Once the bonding curve is open, you don't need to be with C-stack token holders. It's only for the initialization.
Okay, because that's what I'm targeting. Because there's a lot more opportunity specifically with Badger afterwards than there is. I mean, they're not interested in being a trusted feed, really.
No, and after the launch, there's this period of time where everyone who had tokens who in the hatch, they can't sell. So there's basically now it's almost like a second initialization of a bonding curve, where everyone who has these tokens, they can't sell. So all the Badger guys, I predict that there will be a huge ape in, right? Where it's like, oh, well, no one can sell. So I'm going to buy in because this is the lowest the price will ever be. But then there's also an exit tribute and an entry tribute. So when they buy in, they are losing right away. So they have to think, well, is it going to go up in the next 3 months while everyone else's tokens are locked, more than the price of the entry tribute and the exit tribute? And if they think yes, then there's no reason not to dive in.
Okay, I would appreciate if we could have our own call, Bud, about moving forward with some of this, so we can do it in a more defined manner. Because they're not apes, but they are incentivized in Badger as well on how that works. But they're creating multiple liquidity pools, and they're going to have their own stable coins, and that's what I would really like to try and target. Because they're not punishing their community either. They want them to hold. So if you sell your dig when you get it, you're gonna be punished in a sense in their own community, because you're gonna pay extra for that too. They're building their thing to not let people like just pump and dump either, and they're controlling their own whales. And I think there's just a lot more potential there later on. So if we could have a call about how these things could actually look and work, it'd be better moving forward. For me, anyways, I would appreciate that.
Perfect. Besides Tam, someone else offers to be onboarded. Jessica, Livy, Septimus. I'm just asking if there's someone else who also volunteers for this.
I volunteer.
Commitment process.
To be onboarded into Token Engineering Commons? I would love to be. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, I'm down. Is that something I can do? Am I allowed? Can I be in the club?
Are you part of the trusted seed?
How do I? So to become part of the trusted seed, I need to like buy into the trusted seed, right? So yeah,
to apply. I
feel like I applied, but maybe I didn't.
I'll check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I offer myself as well.
So I think I want to just make sure that there's no misunderstanding. What Eduardo is asking is not onboarded into Token Engineering Commons. Hey, guess what, Metaverter? You're already here. You're already with us. So that, but specifically onboarded as a hatcher for the TEC hatch is what he's asking about, and it's great. Definitely volunteer for that too. But I just want to make sure it's clear to you.
I appreciate that. This is my second onboarding meeting, and like, right, I just showed up last week. So yeah, there's a lot to absorb.
Yep, and you applied and were accepted. So you got you will have CSAC tokens on the next issue.
Excellent.
Alrighty, so we got 2 more to be onboarded. Thank you, Septimus and Metaverde. So that's on the hatcher.
What about Jess? What about Jess too? Jess,
I
here's
have
such
so many.
feedback.
I have so many calls. I was gonna say maybe next week or the week, like next week or the week after.
Next
I'm
sprint.
trying to limit. Yeah, next sprint. Let's say I'm really trying to limit my calls for the next 2 weeks so I can deliver some stuffs. But after that, I'm down.
Perfect. So is there something else on the hatcher side that someone has doubts or wants to know more about before we pass on to proposals? Anyone?
I feel like there's a lot, and I'll need to just catch up during the week.
We have a call pending, Metaverde. I will reach you out this week so we can also catch up and think. Thank you. So moving to the proposals. There is 2 parts of the proposal, part of this meeting that I want to comment on. One are the issues and the distribution that we came out with him, and the other one is the assignments of the rest of the proposal. So if you remember, we have the TEC curate, which is a document we were using as a reference to keep track of the hatchers and the proposals. So we are trying, we did actually, we moved the part of the proposals to individual issues. So if you all received emails regarding assignments of issues, my bad, sorry for the spam chaos. It was mainly to just translate the spreadsheet and the to be contacted and on progress proposals, and most of them had a name on it. For example, someone didn't, and I talked to Jake, and he picked ones and then assigned to him. Basically, is to have a check on the work that we all doing, because it takes time and effort to reach these people, make an agenda, meet up, and so on. So we make all the issues that they are all under the Epic proposals, onboarding proposals, if you want to take a look at it. And they are not with the description, they are just the title and the people who is assigned to. Some of them were repeated. So I'm sorry, Jessica, that you probably maybe got confused because I duplicated by accident. I deleted the ones that were repeated and just changed the name to have a similar structure in all of them. And then the ones that are called to be C is basically to be contacted. And then we can just change it whenever we are contacted or whenever it's proposed, we just close it. So in that way, we can keep track of all the proposals in a more visual way, in a more effective way too. So,
Quick
do you
question.
all? Yes.
So you're saying, yeah, I saw the issues were made. So once the proposal's up, we just close them, and we're gonna later track. We can keep tracking and curate as far as like speaking dates and also any other stuff till we get the CRM.
I'm
Is that
more aiming
okay?
for. Yeah, I'm more aiming for updates inside the issues. So we can come to this meeting next week without confusion and being on the same page. I don't know if you can correct me on that.
I think, Jess, I think you might be talking about, last week you mentioned that there's so much useful information in here, like the TEC contact and the Telegram handles and all of that. And it's sort of a placeholder for the CRM to come. And yeah, I think it actually makes a lot of sense to keep it for that purpose, because we wouldn't want to lose that information. And it's something that you could import into the CRM system later. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I just wanted to get clear and aligned on how everybody's using the GitHub and how everybody's using the curate sheet, because yeah, I think it came up last week, but so now I'm saying, like, for example, LeapDAO, they submitted their proposal. So I'm going in GitHub, I am pasting the link and saying the proposal is up and they are speaking tomorrow. And then I close the issue, and that's how we want to run it. And then anything else I'm going to note for myself on the curate sheet for when we get the CRM. I just wanted to reflect that back to make sure that's clear and that I'm doing it the same way that everybody's doing it, and that's the way we want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm in the GitHub issue now, so I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it correctly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you might want to keep, like, if you want to put the speaking dates in TEC Curate, because that's really for the different process. That's for the showcases on our weekly call, right? So that makes sense to keep there too. I don't know that you want to keep the showcase dates inside the onboarding proposal process, because not all of the proposals that are onboarding are going to be showcased on our weekly syncs. And the idea is, as soon as the forum post is open, then that piece of work is done. So we just close it, and then all of the proposals that are on the forum would be closed here, and any of the proposals which end up not going through will be closed as well.
Cool. Sounds good. Very clear.
Perfect. So on this, I have two questions. First one, the hashtag the philosophy. What is that? And secondly, if you had an issue on GitHub called TE book proposal, that's the same as the ebook HG2TG, or it's a different book? Just to clarify these 2 points. Just
I'm sorry, I was noting something about LeapDAO. You were saying about the hatch. What was the last part?
yeah, sorry, I was asking if hashtag what was hashtag TE philosophy, and then if TE book HG2TG it's the same issue that you have already opened.
I will ask Shebnem. I think she. Yeah. One is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I will just ask Shebnem one last time. I think she was going back and forth about submitting to the TEC because she has her own, potential for funding streams or whatnot. So I'll just ask her if she still wanted to proceed. And then the TE philosophy, I had reached out to Fabian. I don't know if he's going to submit anything, but I'll ask Shebnem one more time. And I have a call anyway coming up with Fabian in the next week or two, so I will ask them both.
So the TE book is the same issue that was already open, correct? Or is there two books? That's my question.
Oh, there's only one book. I thought there was only one GitHub issue, but
yeah, no, I opened another one, but since the previous one didn't have the name, like the title of what was the proposal, I didn't check it out either. So I closed the one that I opened and I renamed the ebook, so we have the same.
Cool. All good, yeah.
And then the philosophy, I don't know what it was. I for some reason my mind went through thinking it was a mistake type writing, so I didn't open an issue for it. I will open it now that I know it's actual something. So that's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Shebnem just said that Fabian might be interested to submit a proposal for something, but I'm not sure. I will find out for sure.
Okay. And then there was another one. Jake, do you remember the one that was in between you, Jessica, and Livit? I just don't remember which one it was.
Are you asking about Disco?
Yeah, Disco Coop. Exactly.
I was thinking if Disco is in the scope for a proposal.
It depends on their proposal. I mean, I think it was just that I was going to actually reach out to them today, Livy, because I realized that they said they were like busy because they had a holiday or something. So we were back and forth, but I was going to reach out to them and say if they wanted to jump on a call. I mostly thought we could listen to what they're working on more specifically. And then we could say, if you have something that is an open source tool or pattern or a particular project that could provide value to the TE community and be considered a TE public good or whatever, if anything they're working on, a project or network collaboration falls under this category, then they could submit a proposal. But yeah, I think first with them, it would be kind of more like listening to what they're focused on right now and listen for if anything is applicable for providing value.
I was confused because since it had the name Jake and then it says Libby and just listen, I thought Jake is taking care of this, and then Jessica and Libby will only listen. So I didn't know how to assign it because I was like, I don't know how it goes. So I wanted to clarify just to understand to who this is assigned to, basically.
Yeah, that sounds good, Jess. I think it will be like a cultural exchange kind of thing. I think they're doing a lot in the cultural side.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some of these calls are more exploratory. And yes, obviously, we're going to see if anything, could apply and then ask or, urge them to put something in. But there could be other cool stuff coming out of this call. And Livy, I was going to tell you, Dan and I had a talk with Bia from Dada. I know you've been talking to them too. So we were talking about having some kind of like a town hall or some kind of like invisible economy event for a network collaboration. So I think it's very possible that something could come out of that related to culture, that somebody would submit a proposal. But yeah, a lot of this is some of these are exploratory. They're not like they're building a open source code or something, so
right.
we'll explore.
This is an open question, probably to Griff or Pam. Like when we have these projects that we want to onboard right now, these proposals, shall we also just pitch briefly the option to be a hatcher? If some of them, and like how do we proceed on this? Like, do we schedule a meeting with you, or we just make a small pitch and then we schedule a meeting with you? Like, how do we proceed regarding these proposals that may want to be a hatcher too? So then, like how we proceed with this?
I think it'll be a lot easier to open up the floodgates on hatchers when we have the Swiss membership app done. It's sort of a blocker because it's like, oh yeah, I mean, the first thing is, of course, you should mention it. It's like, yeah, the TEC is this magical potluck for advancing the token engineering commons. We need people who are going to do good work, and we need people who are going to actually be the economic engine behind it. So we need both sides, and I think it's fair to just tell them that this is a matchmaking. We're Tinder for public goods, man. We're Tinder for TE public goods. You want in on this or what? You can swipe or you can just put up a profile. It's your call.
But so it's okay if we ask them or we just pitch them about being a hatcher, even though it's not we're not onboarding them now, but just to do two dos por uno. I don't know how you say dos por uno in English, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a natural thing. It's like, okay, I'm applying for this. Where's the money going to come from? I feel like you have a good in there. You're like, oh yeah, and if you want to, because in a dream world, it really is the hatchers are funding their own projects. This is the magic, right? We have a bunch of token engineers who come in, throw their money together, and then decide amongst themselves in a very fair, transparent way which of the projects that they care about end up getting supported. They're the best ones to be doing these projects anyway. It really is the dream is to have them be playing both sides.
Okay, roger that. So the rest of the topics, is there something else regarding proposals?
Sorry, just to close this. Jess, is it you or Olivia? Is it you that is going to just be responsible for looping together with Disco? Should I assign it to either one of you?
You can assign to me. I think Jess has a lot in the onboarding already.
Cool.
Perfect. Yes, Jessica?
I was just saying thanks, Liv.
Great. That's pretty much all. I don't know if there's something else that anyone wants to discuss. If not, that will be all. I would just, before I forget, to encourage if someone else on board or knows anyone and just want to create the issue, just create an issue for the proposal that you, if you have a suggestion or so on, just create the issue and assign me and just let me know so we can proceed with onboarding that person. A project that you know about, someone you heard, someone in Discord, because that probably will happen. There's a lot of people probably in Telegram too that is like, oh, look at this, and then get lost in translation. So probably we can also pay attention a little bit to our own channels to see if someone who has been posting there a cool project or something may be interested, and then we can just reach them out, or just come forward to me and I reach them out. So yeah, if that's all, thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you next Wednesday.